Hi guys. Oh, I'm not naked. I have a shirt on. I just wanted to say that. Oh my gosh, so scary. Oh my god, so many people saw that last video. I was like, I came back on YouTube and I was like, holy freaking cow. I'm not just talking to myself anymore, which is quite scary. I'm literally sweating, but all good. I'm still gonna pretend like I'm still talking to myself because if I think about it too much, I'm gonna be all like, ah. Um, Okay, so hey, there's not really a topic about what's going on today. I just feel like actually insane, so I need to do things that are good for myself. I am drinking a little bit of wine, which probably is not helping the feeling of overwhelming anxiety dripping down my body. And it's felt like that ever since I woke up from this like crazy dream. I don't even remember what the dream was. I could have told you at 8 a.m. this morning, but here we are now, and it's 9 p.m., and Phoebe's gone again. And so I really need to take a deep breath because, oh my gosh, also along with my gut wrenching anxiety this morning from waking up, I have this like, okay, us SLPs call it globus sensation, but it's essentially this like feeling of something being stuck in your throat. And I had that all this morning, and then I was also freaking out on top of that, which could be caused. So the anxiety could cause the feeling of something like being stuck in your throat, but also the feeling of something stuck in my throat gave me more anxiety. So it just was like this crazy loop of like this whole day being like, oh my God, am I gonna feel like this forever? And so that's when I could have really used like a rain check or someone telling me like the devil on my shoulder, the angel on my shoulder. I really needed the angel's voice to be a little bit stronger than it was this morning. But I am journaling currently, and Phoebe is gone, so I'm trying to do things that are productive. But also, I was thinking that I don't need to be productive all the time. I can sit back and just let myself go where my mind takes me and just watch my little podcasts. Shout out to Upstairs Neighbors. And just kind of relax. I don't need to be productive all the time. I can relax. I'm gonna let my body freaking relax. So that's what I'm trying to do. Okay, I think everyone needs to take. This is what I do with my kids when they're feeling dysregulated. I'm feeling hella dysregulated, so I'm gonna pretend like I'm the child. I look at them, I get on eye level, we are face to face. We don't necessarily need to be making eye contact because that's not a social standard that we uphold anymore. However, we're in proximity and we're taking deep breaths together. We can do box breathing or whatever the psychologists recommend these days. So it's like you breathe in, out, breathe in. I actually have no idea. Can a psychologist or can someone like come on and tell me what box breathing actually is? I've seen people reference it, but I'm not exactly sure. I could definitely take a walk, but it's dark outside, so I can't normally do that. I've been listening to music, which has definitely been helping. I've been journaling. I ate a good salad for dinner, and I think it'd just be great if my mind could just turn off for a little bit. I think I'm also a little bit sleepy, which could be contributing to why I feel so dysregulated. What else do I do with my kids if I'm dysregulated? If they're dysregulated, I give them a toy, maybe a little fidget. I sometimes physical like hard laborious movement helps as well. So like pushing something heavy, picking up something heavy, deep pressure helps some of my kiddos. Oh my gosh, there's just so many things, but I don't know what can soothe the mind. I don't know what can soothe the mind because there are a lot of different ways that people can feel dysregulated because I did this whole presentation on sensory supports for kiddos, especially autistic kiddos in the classroom, and there are apparently I don't 7 or 8 different types of sensory systems. Let's see if I can name them all. So there's proprioceptive, which is like your awareness in space or balance. There is gustatory, which is like your awareness of, sorry, my laundry is going, which is aware of how your body is kind of operating. So like if you can feel your heartbeat, or you can maybe like if you have a headache, this is you like understanding or recognizing that something within your internal body is changing. Why did I start with the two hardest ones? There's olfactory, smell, auditory, hearing, taste, which there's definitely like a more fancy term for the taste one. There's one for understanding like the external surrounding. It's not proprioceptive, but it's something else. Oh my goodness! Now I need to look up what I said in this presentation because I'm gonna be so upset that I can't remember. But essentially, I was explaining to everyone that all of these kids can be dysregulated in these different ways. However, there are so many other types of where the piece comes into play, other than just kind of like the broad, oh, they're overstimulated. It's like, yes, they can be overstimulated, but why are they overstimulated? Are they overstimulated because of there's too much noise in the environment, or they're not meeting their sensory threshold, or sorry, I'm also looking at where I did this presentation. Oh my goodness, sorry guys. This is probably not very entertaining for you while I try to figure out where this is. Oh, here we go. Okay. So, like I was saying, there's so many different types of sensory systems, and there's not just one sole thing that can be contributing to someone feeling dysregulated. And I would like to point out that a lot of this regulation comes before they're able to communicate with you, which is super important because when people feel dysregulated, it may be hard to communicate their certain actions. So if a kid is coming up to you and they're like, and they're sobbing, you're not going to be like, oh, this is a perfect time for you to tell me exactly what's going wrong. First, you need to regulate their bodies. They need to be in a calm, understanding, safe environment before you try to come at them with all these questions. And that's where bringing choices come into play. So essentially, sensory integration is the thing that I was talking about, and this is what I need to do for myself. It's the neurological process that organizes sensation from one's own body and from the environment and makes it possible to use the body effectively within the environment. Okay, so right now, I'm feeling dysregulated, and it's definitely because of my mind. Oh my gosh. Okay, so here are the 8 sensory systems. Tactile, their sense of touch. Vestibular, information about gravity and like head position. Proprioceptive, information arising from like your skin, your muscles, your body awareness. Third or fourth, auditory, sense as things that are coming in from hearing different things in your environment. Visual, oh my god, I can't believe I forgot visual, helps you see and perceive the environment around us. So if there's a lot of things flashing and if there's a lot of people moving in front of you, you may be overstimulated from everyone causing all this commotion. And that could also play into the auditory piece of sensory regulation, where if they're making a lot of noise and there's a lot of things happening in your visual field, of course a kid is going to feel dysregulated. Interoception, the sense involved in the detection of internal regulation, heart rate, respiration, hunger, digestion. Olfactory, which is sense of smell. Gustatory, distinguishes the taste. Oh, so maybe gustatory was taste. Okay, anyways, so right now, for me, I think what is applicable is the interoception. Right now, I understand that my heart is beating pretty fast. I didn't get a lot of sleep last night, so maybe I'm a little bit more irritable or tired or prone to anxiety. And there's definitely some, I don't know, like tactile things going on with me right now. I'm very aware that my feet are super sweaty and it's causing my socks to be a little bit damper than usual, which is definitely not something I like to admit, but I do have hyperhidrosis, so my hands are also super sweaty. It's a whole thing. And then also I turned my AC off because it's supposed to be like cold tonight. And so I'm running a little bit warm along with drinking a little bit of wine. So all of these things are coming into play. So what can dysregulation look like for me? Maybe increased movement, avoidance, reduced initiation and responses, limited attention, and I don't know, just like retreating back into myself, I think. This is something that I'm very aware of, but I am not exactly sure how to escape this kind of like hypersensitive, dysregulated environment that I find myself in. So, what can I do? So there's this thing that I teach my kids. It's called co-regulation. You can't regulate someone else until you are regulated yourself. And you can kind of like put on a facade. So even though I do feel very dysregulated, I can still go up to a kid and try to implement some of these strategies for the child. But it's kind of more difficult to do that for myself right now because I don't really have anyone else to like bounce ideas off of. Not that I need someone else around me, but it is a little bit more soothing if I have someone reminding me that I don't need to be in this constant state of panic all the time, especially since there's nothing that I can do to typically fix the panic that is ensuing, or what is causing the panic. There's truly nothing in my power that I can do to, I don't know, fix the situation because I can't control anyone else. I can only control myself. So maybe that's a good reminder for myself. Just it's like I need something more than reminders though. This is where my head is going. I'm just like, oh my gosh. Ugh. And like a lot of the times I write in accommodations for these kids who need like their regulation and like their needs met. So like sometimes I'll write in accommodations for kids to have like a choice board. So like you have a visual or a picture board of like different emotions and I'm having them like point to which one they feel like. And then later when they're feeling a little bit more regulated, they can have choices of like, well, when I feel angry, I can go on a walk. I can listen to calm music. I can, request like deep sensory input. I can take deep breaths. It's like all these different things that they can have outlets for. And that's what I'm trying to implement kind of at a higher level for myself. I need to implement some more of these executive functioning strategies within my daily life because I'm an adult, okay? I am a pseudo adult. I need to start acting like it. Kind of. I don't know. And also it's like I need to also give myself some grace for feeling these certain ways and acknowledge and be nice to the voices in my head and give the voices in my head a hug because you know what? They're valid and my feelings can be seen and heard, but they do not need to dictate my choices. Okay? That is something I also try to remind myself. These things can come up in your daily life and it's okay. You don't need to just get over it or find something to keep you busy because that is such a band-aid approach to anxiety, at least for me. But I need to acknowledge that I feel this way. See, I'm already starting to sweat less. I need to acknowledge that I feel this way, maybe even talk to the camera a little bit, talk to myself, journal a little bit, and maybe get to the core understanding. Ask myself, it always leads to more questions, okay? I can run down the road of questions all day long because here's my thought process. Okay, first, why do I feel a little bit more anxiety than usual today? Well, I can pinpoint it to, this person is showing a little bit less involvement in my life compared to how they usually are. Okay, so why do you think that they're showing a little bit less involvement? Well, maybe it's for rational reasons, like they're at work, or maybe they have something going on, or maybe they're dealing with their own shit. Okay, so if they're dealing with their own shit and there's a lot of things going on within their life, this may be a reason that they're less attentive to you. And this is a valid reason to have. When I am enjoying life and living in the moment, of course I'm going to be less willing to check my phone and try to respond to this person who lives 500,000 miles away from her. And so maybe that's a reason. Okay, but maybe another side of it is because they are finally realizing that I am not worth spending time on. And that is the scarier reason, which is why I am having a little bit more of this anxiety because I don't want that to be true. I find myself to be, I don't want this to come off as selfish or self-centered, but I find myself to be easy to talk to, supportive, also just like being a good listener. So this like clash of I am a good person, why are they pulling away? Do they realize I'm a bad person? Am I a bad person? Have they found someone new? It's like all of that little things that are going on inside their head. But like, why does my present, and then this leads me to, why does my present reality, why does this person's perception of me dictate my present reality? Because their perception of me has nothing to do with how I actually perceive reality. And maybe it has something to do with it. Maybe they're influencing how I'm a mosaic of everyone I've ever met, whatever. But realistically, their life is going to be their life, and my life is going to exist within the realm of my space. And I can only control my actions, my thoughts, and my behaviors and my values. So that is the only thing that should truly matter in the end. Their perception and their non-avoidance or their behavior or their engagement should not dictate how I move about my daily life. However, that is why I'm feeling a little bit anxious, because I am letting their perception take up too much space in my head. So I need to find a reason or remind myself why I am enough on my own, why I can have the understanding and the confidence that I can exist within this world and respect myself enough to stand on the values that I hold, whether this person is a part of my life or not. And I'm not there yet, but I understand that's where I need to be, and I'm on the road. I'm on the road to getting there. So this is kind of my mental pep talk, and this is my pep talk for any of you who may potentially feel the same way. You are enough on your own. You need to value yourself, meaning your identity, what you believe in, what you think is good, bad, ugly in the world before anyone else's perception of you. Who are you before anyone else told you who you needed to be? Who are you when no one else is watching? You know, it's like you need to be able to sit with yourself, and that's what I'm trying to do. I'm on the road. I think even like 2 months ago, not even trying to compare myself across time because, you know, growth isn't linear. However, I think 2 months ago, I would have let this consume me all night and I would have just been tossing and turning in my bed. But here I am now getting to the root of why I may feel this way and why I place so much value on this person's perception when it truly doesn't matter to my reality. Okay, we exist to experience the world. We are the world experiencing itself, or whatever the fuck the saying is. Anyways, I had this whole other script planned. I have my notebook sitting here. Oh my god, you guys were asking me where my journal was from. No idea. I think it's honestly from Paper Source. My sister got it for me for my birthday a while ago. But I had this whole other thing on nostalgia, but I think I'm going to save that for this weekend because I still need to have something to talk about this weekend, even though I have spent 17 minutes talking about something that is completely unrelated to what I meant to be talking about. Sorry, there's also an ant crawling in front of me. Okay, I'm getting heavily distracted. Anyways, I need something else to talk about later in the weekend because I know I'm going to be needing to fill the space a little bit when I find myself going into the deep end a little bit. But I hope this was helpful. Maybe it wasn't. I don't know. This is helpful for me, so maybe that's all that really matters. But thank you to everyone who left such nice comments on my video. Guys, what the hell? This is so odd. I don't think of myself to be profound. And also someone left a comment that said, don't get advice from the internet. Also agree with that. This is just me giving advice to myself. If you take some sort of glimmer of advice or some sort of thing that you relate to, that makes me so incredibly happy. This is not going to relate to everyone in any way because everyone's experience is different. You are your own worldview, you have your own values, you have your own experiences, and not everything I say is going to relate. But if it does relate, that's awesome, and I'm happy. Well, it's awesome to some extent that we can like bond over that. However, it's not awesome that you may be feeling overly anxious in this moment. But that is just my caveat. Maybe I should have put my caveat at the beginning of the video because not everyone gets to this point, and I'm definitely just talking to myself now, which is what I've been doing for the last 20 minutes. Okay, anyways, I hope everyone's week is super awesome. Happy Thursday, and enjoy this nice weather. At least where I am, it is super warm, and yeah. Okay, bye.